So, hey guys, the other day I did like a 10-hour stream or something playing just Paleo pretty much, and I gotta say that was quite a miserable experience in like certain ways, certain issues. But yeah, learned a lot about Paleo, so I'm gonna share with the class here. So, first off, we are not playing Trap Tantalizing Tune for one simple reason: it's an ultra rare, and I'm not sure if I'm that committed yet. Granted, I did play 10 hours. Maybe I should have made Trap Tantalizing Tune, but yeah. Discard either a level 4 or insect or a plant monster or one normal trap, draw 2 cards. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished level 4 insect or plant monsters or normal traps, place it on the bottom of the deck. So this really helps with cards like Trap Trick and getting potentially some Paleos in the graveyard, or maybe your Rise to Full Height, and or your transaction rollback. And that's just, I guess in general, a useful effect. Aside from that, we're using reasoning, and we're just really praying that we hard open reasoning, because realistically I don't think we can easily get any of our Paleos into the graveyard, so that's annoying. So let's do a quick test hand and let's see what we got here. So here we have Dynamiscus, so we would assuming we're going first, I would probably set Needle Ceiling and then Ice Dragon's Prison with Dynamiscus. Or I just don't bother setting Ice Dragon's Prison on the first turn at all, and just settle with Needle Ceiling plus Dynamiscus, and this is to play around back row removal. Is honestly, like, just Needle Ceiling plus Ice Dragon's Prison, for the most part, should probably be enough to at least allow me to live another turn. And then we'll be able to also pitch Rollback, so we can then Needle Ceiling a second time or Dynamiscus a second time, if we really want to. It's much more guaranteed to get the rollback into the graveyard if I keep it in hand, which is nice. So if our opponent tries to Duster us, we can do Dynamiscus, sending the rollback to send the rollback into the graveyard, I guess. Kind of, if that makes sense. This is more relevant if they don't hit us with full back row removal, I think, right? It's something like that. But yeah, that's about how it goes. That's probably how you deal with something like an SP. And then we're drawing Oleanoids, so we're just really hoping our opponent, well, in this fictitious scenario, has no plays, because all we have is destroy a single spell trap card on the field. Which, if we do, we can summon our Paleozoic Dynamiscus, which does nothing right now because we need at least 2 guys to go into Opabinia. So really doing a whole lot of nothing here. Dynamiscus, this is really hurting now, because at this point I would have discarded Rollback. Presumably I've used Needle Ceiling and maybe Ice Dragon's Prison, so I would have to pitch right now. It would just be Needle Ceiling or Oleanoids. And now we have like no more Paleo guys. So at this point, the best case scenario with this hand is if we're able to summon both like the Dynamiscus and the Oleanoids, or maybe potentially this Dynamiscus, and then we'll be able to go into Opabinia and start hopefully building a bit more advantage, or any advantage at all, because we have yet to build any advantage here. We're just hoping with this hand here, we're able to stop our opponent's plays, really hurt them in the main deck department. I guess that's what we're really hoping for here. And I gotta say, this deck, I can't really recommend it. So first off, it's kind of expensive, so you have to, for this, I think it's definitely mandatory to craft 3 Daruma Karma Cannons, and then 3 Rollback, and then you probably want also 3 copies of Trap Tantalizing Tune, and then a few other Ultras, and a lot of SRs. This is pretty SR heavy as well. If you don't have SRs, it's pretty painful, I guess. I think that just to craft this, because let's see, this is at least in, I believe, the Labyrinth pack, but Isn't it? No, it's not. It's in the Master Pack. Never mind. Is it Daruma that's in the Labyrinth Pack? No, it's not. Oh, never mind. 6 of these cards are in no pack, so you can't pull for them at all. And then we have a Trap Tantalizing Tune, which is this the one? This is the one that's actually got a secret back. This is the only one. Well, but if you're pulling for this, you're basically trying to play probably trap tricks at this point because you're not that likely to just pull one of that you need. Honestly, can confirm. So if we just take a quick look here, yes, I think I spent 14,000 gems and I have a single Ash Blossom Drift Spring. Well, an alt art one at least. So yeah, that's how that goes. And the extra deck, I think I could tune this a little bit more, but I think Zeus is a good play. But I never realized that the second Zeus, well, the second Zeus does come up, I guess, but the second Downard does not really come up yet. Mostly because I'm struggling to get Paleos onto the board. So yeah, just needing random mills to pretty much function is pretty painful. And of course, I've had Absolute King Backjack like 2 times out of the maybe, I don't know, 5 times or something that I've resolved reasoning. I just hit like Absolute King Backjack off the top. It's actually horrendous. Well, no use in just really talk about this too much because you have to see it to really believe it. So we're going to go here. And, oh yeah, I started the stream at Master 2 and now I am Master 5, so I have went down, what was that, like 3-4 ranks? It doesn't even show a game anymore where I'm still Master 2 in my match history, but alright. This is what a game of Paleo looks like, where your opponent does not scoop. Isn't this great? So here we are going second. And our opponent is on yugioh. Our hand here, kind of like, I mean, with double Daruma, it's not like that bad. You probably live a turn. So we're vibing. The weird thing about this guy's deck, if I recall correctly though, is that this guy main decks 2 copies of normal yugioh. That's about all I can say about that. Alright. And I think they're playing some of the lesser played yugioh cards as well. They're playing Chronicle and Eternal Favorite. And are we almost done? Oh boy. So I'm assuming they have Super Poly set, that's why they kept the yugioh. Oh yeah, they did. Yep. And then they'll send those 2 away. Summon Garura. Cool. They keep the Nightmare Pain. They banish the Apollosa as well. Not much going on here. Mature Chronicle here. And then we're going to Dynamiscus to banish the Nightmare Pain. So, no searching, and hopefully we slow the game state down enough for us to get into the game here, because we really aren't. And alright, we have 1 counter on Mature Chronicle, but they can't attack us for any real damage. But we have Imperm, so we can remove the counters off of the Mature Chronicle, and we can also stop whatever our opponent has here. Absolutely disgusting. Top deck Nightmare Throne. Add D-Lotus. Special Summon Spirit. We're going to negate Spirit, so he can't add whatever he's trying to add. I believe he's actually trying to add Eternal Favorite there. I don't know what happened to his copies of Nightmare Pain. Okay, so now we're going to Daruma to send the Unchained Soul Lord of Yama because, well, do you see this? I have absolutely nothing. If he starts attacking me, like if he attacks me 4 times with this Unchained Soul Lord of Yama, I am actually dead, so might as well, I guess. Now we're going to sit on this for a little while. Drew into Elemental Burst. Complete garbage. Great. Our opponent also drew into nothing. I think they drew into Maxi. Great. Now we have Magical Hats. We'll set Magical Hats. I don't know at which point they drew into Maxi though. But alright, they have Maxi now. And we're going to Magical Hats. And the awkward part about Magical Hats here, if you notice that, was after they targeted the attack, it still kept the target on the Dynamiscus, so the whole shuffling on Magical Hats is kind of scuffed. But I mean, it doesn't really matter because it was flipped face down with Daruma Karma Cannon, so honestly I might prefer it to be in the graveyard. After I resolve a few traps, I should be able to get 2 Paleos to maybe access my extra deck, which I can't do because I only have 1 Paleo, so. Alright. Absolutely nothing going on here. Another Dynamiscus, nice. We could have done nothing. There's nothing really good for me to target with rollback. Yep. Alright, still chilling then. Our opponent here grabs Eternal Favorite. And we're just going to banish the Muckraker here. And now we have Elemental Burst with rollback in the graveyard, so I'm just waiting for a good chance to do that. Okay. Now they will Eternal Favorite, summoning Spirit of Yubel. And here, I thought that this was not an issue, but this was slightly an issue because they actually play 2 Yubels. So when both of these Spirits of Yubel trigger, they'll each individually summon a Yubel. So that's kind of awkward. I think I could have held on to Neilbug Nest longer, but it's fine. We're bursting. And there's Unchained Soul Lord of Yama here. Adds back the Sharvara. Tries to go battle. Sharvara can't activate in the bell phase. But we'll just take the 2000. Otherwise we would Daruma. So we're chilling here. SP with no effect. Cool. We'll set Hope for Escape with Daruma. So here in battle, we're going to activate Hope for Escape and we're going to summon the Dynamiscus. My opponent here, for some reason, I have no idea why, they activate SP. But okay, because they activate SP. SP is hard once per turn, so in the end phase, I'll Daruma. And now, we finally have 2 Paleos on the field. So now we can finally look at the turn counter here. Turn 18. I have summoned my first monster from the extra deck. Let's go, Paleo Gaming. And then we'll do this. That set is actually called by, if I recall correctly, so absolutely nothing to call by here. I don't think I should have even bothered using Reasoning here, but might as well, right? So that'll make the game go a little bit faster. So right here we still have pretty much nothing. Oh, now that I think about it, it would be funny if my opponent called by like Lava Golem to stop me from burning them to death with Lava Golem. But alright. Backjack. Backjack to stack. I don't get to even look at the top of my deck. No backjack effect to set. Pain. Alright. We're pretty secure still here because we have full rollback for whatever. We still have a copy of rollback. 2 copies in fact. Not much else to do here. Rise to full height. Can't attack anything except for the Opabinia. Rise to full height is really obnoxious, so let's assume we're not playing against Yubel here and we're playing against a deck with attack points, I guess. I can target like Morella, and let's assume I have 3 other Paleos here. Then you can only attack into Morella, and the Paleo monsters or traps are not affected by monster effects when they are treated as monsters. So they're fairly hard to out unless you have something like a Raigeki or something like that, I guess, just in general. So they're fairly annoying to out. And then you would be able to only remove the Dynamiscus or Morella here, whatever I target with Rise to full height by battle. Which is kind of the thing with Paleos because their stat lines aren't like insanely high, so that's why you play a lot of cards like Threatening Roar, Woboku, and Rise to full height. And it also doubles as a way to really be effective against Tenpai, I guess. Being only able to attack once prevents a lot of things. So yeah, that's how that works, I guess. And then turn 20, this is the last turn of the duel. I can finally lethal my opponent here. The thing I was worried about specifically, I wasn't keeping count though. Let's see. Oh, wait. I just wasn't paying attention. I was worried that they might have had a Spirit of Yubel in the hand or something. So yeah, but we're going to just do some removing. Lava Golem. Grab back that rollback. And now we have 3 guys. This allows us to make Paleozoic Animal Karis. We can pop the Lava Golem, get in for 2.4k, activate Trap Trick, special summon Dynamiscus, and then we'll set Morella, activate Morella, sending whatever. And then this will allow us to summon 1 more Paleo, getting in for barely lethal on turn 20. And my opponent at this point has like absolutely nothing. We can check the deck to see what they have left. So we went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is literally a completely garbage, useless card because they already went through both Phantoms. So we still have a few more copies of Nightmare Throne, I think, and 1 copy of the Gruesome Grave Squirmer, I believe. They might also have a copy of Dark Beckoning Beast, I think. And they've went through both of those parry maps, and yeah, there's not much left in the tank here for our opponent. So yeah, that's kind of how it goes. And all of these extra deck monsters are not accessible. The only thing that would have affected us, really, I think, is the Super Poly. So, well, actually, no, they already made Garura, so Super Poly is literally unusable. My Dragon, the Swamp. We do not have 2 monsters with the same attribute, but different types. They're the exact same, so my Dragon's not makeable. And they went through both copies of Yama. They went through McCraker. They still have Unchained Soul of Rage in the extra deck, but it's no longer summonable because they can't put an Unchained Soul monster onto the field because their Sharvara is in the graveyard. SP was made. Summon Sorceress would require you to have, well, 3 links worth of materials. Same thing with Unchained Soul of Anguish, but this also requires an Unchained Soul monster, so that's not makeable. Access Code Talker, same kind of issue with the Summon Sorceress, can't really access that. Underworld Goddess, yeah, that takes quite a few guys to make as well. So, same issue here. So, realistically, we have absolutely nothing makeable in Dextra. Triple Tactics Talents, also dead because the only monster I can activate is Backjack's effect. And I don't think there's anything worth taking or looking at in my hand, and nothing worth drawing for, so yep. Looking pretty doomed. The only win con was, I think, Nightmare Pain. They should have still had 1 more copy of Nightmare Pain, I think. Well, yeah, I think so, right? Nightmare Pain, and then if they can get Gruesome Grave Squirmer, and then summoning back like one of these guys, maybe with other opening of the Spirit Gates, you can summon back one of these guys and start trying to get in for damage, I guess. That would be the play. And nothing else, right? Yeah. So, on the bright side of Paleo, when you play Paleo and you play a game to its fullest, usually, because the deck is so damn slow, we're going to be able to see our opponent's whole deck. Well, yeah. Well, on the bad side, this duel took 20 turns. And it wasn't like a free win or anything, it just took 20 turns because Paleo is just so slow. And the first time I could summon an extra deck monster in this case was turn 18. Just damn. That really hurt to see. And I mean, several things to note here. We're not really playing any floodgates here unless you want to count like maybe Typhon. This is the only kind of floodgatey card we have here. And Typhon is kind of nice, you know, we can make this on top of like a Dynamiscus, and the Dynamiscus will go back to the graveyard so I can summon it back later to make like an Opabinia or maybe a Zeus. So that's pretty cool, and technically I can also turn this Typhon into a Zeus, so that's something, I guess. And one of the really powerful combos in this deck specifically is if I control no cards on the field and I have Transaction Rollback in the graveyard alongside Evenly Matched, I can do some pretty severe damage. So we can go like, for example, activate Evenly Matched, our opponent might negate, roll back evenly, and then the amount of cards we control on the field in this case will be 0, and then our opponent has to banish the entire field. So that is pretty nasty. And honestly, I could play a few more Paleos in here, but it kind of varies, like their mileage here. Let's see. Its attack and defense become half. That's not that useful. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to face-down defense position. I mean, this effect is just like a significantly worse Derma Karma Cannon, but it is a Paleo. That's about what we have going for us here. And then Ikaya. Well, if I draw 2 cards, those 2 cards won't be usable, so I might die before I can like make mileage off of the cards I draw off of the Ikaya, so that sucks. And this doesn't send from field, unfortunately, so that sucks, I guess. Target one face-up monster on the field, it gains 500 attack defense until the end of this turn. What? That effect's just insanely garbage, so yeah, no real reason to use that. Something I did not know, though, is that Paleozoic Cambrostar actually has this effect. If a set card you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. So we're doing a little bit of learning here. So if we were playing a completely different build, or I guess a trap deck, control deck, whatever, what we could do is we could just essentially do a Foolish Burial Goods of the Paleozoic Cambrostar. This would protect our back row once, and once is maybe enough, you know? And I think there might be a few other monsters that kind of have this effect, so we'll have to check real fast. I believe there was some kind of dragon in Dragon Link that did this as well. I think it was called Noctovision? Something like this, right? No. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a face-down card or cards you control, you can banish this card from your graveyard to negate that effect. Also, your opponent cannot target that face-down card or cards with card effects for the rest of this turn. Does this negate banish? Or not, I mean negate destroy. No, it does not. It just negates the destruction effect. But yeah. Basically, what we could do technically is we could do something like, I don't know, depends what you're playing, but if we were to maybe go like Maximus, or maybe try to resolve Nadir's Servant. We could Nadir's Servant, sending any extra deck or any monster from our extra deck to the graveyard. So in this case, we could send like Gambroa, adding Dogmatic Ecclesia, and then we normal summon Ecclesia, right? And we don't have to worry about like Dusters or Lightning Storms too much. And this effect to protect is of course not mandatory, so if your opponent were to hit you with something like Baron effect, and you're okay with the card going into the graveyard, like maybe it's a rollback, or you want to just chain to the pop, like something like a Derma Karma Cannon perhaps, then you're also still absolutely chilling. And if we're not against Tenpai, it the second piece of back row removal, like main deck back row removal, should not come up. So I don't really think you need more than like one Kimbrera Star in the graveyard. So pretty gnarly effect, I guess. Now that look at this, let's see. This is hard one's return to protect, and it's in the graveyard, so it's pretty obnoxious to out. Only certain decks really have the tools to do so. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this. I think we could make the deck list just more nasty in certain ways. I think that's pretty doable, but yeah. That package would be a bit expensive, costing you like 3 UR slots, but on the bright side, you know, your back row won't be destroyed, and it's fairly hard to deal with, unless you have exactly something like, I don't know, perhaps Called by the Grave or DD Crow with, I don't know, like Duster, Lightning Storm, something like that. But for the most part, decks usually only main deck one piece of back row removal, something like just a singular Duster. Tenpai main decks usually, it should be 3 now, so it's like Lightning Storm, Duster, and Heavy Storm. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. And yeah, I can't recommend you to play Paleo, but yeah, if you want to, then go ahead, I guess. I can't really stop you. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.